Hi everybody. Today is episode 7, wow, of my Applique Basics tutorial. We're going to work on the bow today and learn about reverse applique. Last week we learned about putting the wreath together of the hearts and stitching them all down, and I finished mine, as you can see. I think they turned out really nice. Can you see them up close? I'll show you the back. I enjoyed, this is the 4th block I think I told you that I'm making of this design. Yeah, and sewing hearts, I've never gotten tired of sewing applique hearts. All right, we're going to work on the bow, which is, excuse me, like this. And the reverse applique is this part here, where you put the patch behind the upper patch and stitch it down. It's got a dimension to it then. All right. So I'm gonna get you to cut out your cardboard templates for your bow and your ribbons and your knot. And the knot we'll work on next week for a different applique called puffy applique. It gives it a bit of dimension. For today, we're just going to use these pieces here. Now, one thing to know about the ribbons is you're going to need 2 versions. You're going to need one that's facing one way, and then you flip it over on your fabric and you trace it the other way so that it has the 2, one's going that way and one's going that way. So the templates are the same, you just flip them when you draw them onto the fabric. And today, for this particular block, I'm going to do mine slightly different. This is the fabric I've picked out for my bow. It's very pretty. I think it matches the hearts just right. Now for my dark circles, I'm going to use this gingham. And what I'm going to do different this time is for the lower part of the ribbons, I'm also going to use the gingham. So it looks like the back of the ribbon had a different look to it. All right. So as before, sandpaper, board. Put your fabric down. Put your template on top. You leave yourself enough room for seam allowance. And you draw your template shape with the chalk pencil. Excuse me for a minute. My cat is calling. Okay, I'm back. There. And I am going to need 2 of this. One facing one way. And one facing the other way. And on the gingham, we are going to need 2 rectangles about the size of this, just slightly bigger. So I will cut there and then cut a second one. And I'm also eventually going to need 2 of the bottom part of the ribbon. Then, like last time with the hearts, we're going to cut it out with our pinking shears on the outside of the template shape. Just a scant 1/4 of an inch. What's neat about these ribbons of this bow is it's going to give you some more points practicing with your appliquing your points, because each piece has 3 points, I think, on them. So it'll give you good practice for that. And on the ribbon, you're going to cut into that right angle there, just for ease. And we probably would want to cut a little bit extra here too, because the pinking doesn't quite get up to where you're going to need it to curve. So just a couple clips up to the line, not on the line, just up to the line. Okay. Now for the inner piece, it's too hard to do the pinking shears in there, so we're gonna just clip with scissors. How I do it is folded in the middle part. Take a little clip, and then excuse me, my cat is very needy today. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Hopefully she's settled now. All right, I'm clipping out just a little bit in the middle and leaving myself a small seam allowance of both of these inner teardrops, or whatever you want to call that shape. And I'm going to do some clipping up to the seam where it curves. The seam line, the drawn line of the seam, of course, I guess I should say. Just so when you tuck it under, it tucks without any pulling. There. You cut this one out the same. I won't put you through that. And then you grab your basting thread, and with your finger, you finger press the seam to the back, and you baste it in place. The way we basted the hearts. Same procedure. Now we're working on this middle reverse applique pieces first before we turn that seam allowance over. We're going to get this finished, stitched first. And there's a reason for that. I'll show you that as we go. Oh, somebody asked me privately why I have my business name in the corner all the time. And, well, one, it helps you know who I am, but also it shows me where in the video I need to keep my hand so that if I'm past down here, you won't see. So it gives me that visual reminder that I have to stay up here, in case you were wondering. Okay, so I've got that basted down, mostly. There's a piece that came out, but that's okay. And then what I do is on the back, I lay the piece of gingham that I'm going to put behind it and lay it behind it. It's all pretty much in the center. Just so that you make sure you have fabric all the way around. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is baste that in place. So almost over the same stitches I just did. We're going to do another row of basting to hold that back piece of fabric right where we want it. Now reverse applique, if you plan an applique that's other than this, sometimes using the reverse applique is part of the design. Like in this case, it's the back side of the bow. So it would be in the distance. I've done it for the inside of a sleeve before, on my that's Crazy Quilted Father Christmas and my Crazy Quilted Wizard. Both have sleeves that are reverse applique. Yeah, so you can use it as part of the design, which makes it fun to use it as part of the creative designing. Did I just repeat that? Yes, I did. I guess I did. See the difference? It's not on top, but it's going to be tucked behind, which is the dimension that I mentioned. Okay, so we've got that basted down. Of course, you do it here as well. And then with a thread that matches the patch, you applique it, the bow down to the gingham. So as before with the blind stitch, you come up and you take a few stitches of a few thread lengths in just to catch the upper applique. Then you go down into the patch at the back, right at the fold, and come up about a 1/16 of an inch to the side of that, and then you don't the thread gets all hidden there. I mean, it doesn't show unless you really look. You just keep doing that all the way around, like you did with when you sewed your hearts down. No, that didn't hurt. If you saw that, I just sewed into my thumb. I think I've actually got a bit of a tougher skin right there because I do that occasionally, and it doesn't hurt. All right, you get the idea. I'm going to finish that off camera. So basically, I'm going to cut out that one the same and put this piece behind and reverse applique it onto there. And for next week, once those two are done, then yeah, let's leave the rest till next week. So just leave all of that as is. Reverse applique your two little circles. And if you want to, you can prepare the outer edges of these the way you like to have it, the way you prefer to do your applique. In my case, it's going to be the basting, so I'm going to turn over the edges and baste them down. And on the points, I'm going to do the points the same as I did the hearts, where I fold at the point first and then on both sides. And I will have all that ready for next week. Okay, so think of fun ways you can use reverse applique when you do applique, and enjoy the relaxing stitching that is hand applique. Thanks for watching this week. See you next week.